Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on the purpose of Prabhupada instructions, where now we have seen that how the Kumaras got attracted to the Supreme. Now, what they respond, that is a very important understanding. The response from the Kumaras. So, Kumaras are saying, the Kumaras said, "O dear Lord, you are most, you are not manifested to rascals." So, now they're giving their understanding and conclusion, which is actually according to the conclusions of all the scriptures. They got that, they have that realization. They have reached Vaikuntha. They are not just coming like that. They have great amount of realization. That's why they're there. Even though you are seated. So what is important is Lord will come in front of us. He may stand in front of us, but we cannot understand without the aspect of devotion. So that is the most important thing which they are going to make us understand. Because what happens is many personalities have seen the Lord, like Duryodhana saw, Hiranyakashipu is seeing, and everybody they see the Lord. They don't understand him. So even the deities people are seeing. Krishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita clearly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nanda. So it's directly Lord only. But somehow they cannot understand, and I realize that. That is the point. Like I have devotion in my heart, then I can accept the Lord very easily. Lord is directly coming. So here, this is very nice point they're saying. Even though you are seated in the heart of everyone, but as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face. Although you are unlimited, the statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. So they heard about the Lord, so their first time they are seeing the Lord. Oh, then they immediately it touched their heart. Oh, such a nice person. We heard about him, but we are seeing also. That is very important for us. Like even Lord comes in front of us, our heart is not cleaned with sadhana. Means we have not done sufficient sadhana to clean our heart, we'll not be able to appreciate him. By doing sadhana, our heart is getting purified, it is melting. Then Lord comes in front of us, we'll be able to appreciate. Like you have done good sadhana for 6 months and then you go in Kartik and take darshan of Radha Shyam Sundar. Immediately there's this special effect you feel, oh, I am in front of. Like going Vrindavan only, you have a special effect because heart is already melted because of the sadhana. That is very important. So Kumaras have done sadhana, they're very pure, there's nothing. And they got association of Brahmaji. They got a Vaishnava association, and because of which they could reach till Vaikuntha. Otherwise, it's not possible only. By mercy of Brahmaji, Kumaras got elevated. So till now here, this previous was very important. Prabhupada gave very, very big purport. The This is the form of Lord which is meditated upon by the followers of yoga process, and it is pleasing to the yogis in meditation. It is not imaginary but factual. As proved by the yogis, the Lord is full in 8 kinds of achievement, but for others, these achievements are not possible in full perfection. The main thing what Prabhupada highlighted is meditating. What is needed for us, the end of life is how much we have meditated on the Supreme Lord. That is the measurement we can say that okay, today I have meditated on the Lord, today is a perfection. Tomorrow I improved my meditation on Lord, tomorrow I have reached little more. The more we are, the elevation towards perfection is how much I am able to meditate on the Lord, how much I am able to remember the Lord in a day. And here, the second thing what we understand is Kumaras, they got the darshan of Lord, immediately touched their heart also, because they heard it from whom? Brahmaji. That's why. Otherwise, even if directly they go and see, it will not have effect. Now, when we glorify the deities, it's not different from Lord. Directly, Lord is standing there. He's hearing you what you are speaking. You should go and talk to the Lord. You should talk to the deities in the temple, reciprocate with them, give them something, appreciate their beauty, and no chant for them, dance for them, offer some prayers from Bhagavatam to them. This is how we should take darshan. Then, when we go, immediately it has an effect. And like same thing, was going Char Dham Yatra, and first day they went and we were in Yamunotri. Everything happened, came back because we didn't have time for Katha. After that, I came and I told, oh, this is Yamuna Mai, and this is what we should pray. I said, oh, you didn't tell before because we just went, saw, and came. But if you'd have told before, we'd have prayed in a proper way, chant Yamunastakam. And now, when you train, then the way you look is a different thing. Like many people come, they take photo and go. But they know they should go for praying, they should see, they should appreciate, they should take bath. And by all these things, if they are properly explained, then it becomes easy for people to uh, appreciate the Lord and come near to Him. But otherwise, it becomes very, exercise for the eyes. The purpose is the so-called yogis who concentrate their mind or meditate upon the impersonal or void are described here. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam describes persons who are expected to be very expert yogis engaged in meditation but who do not find the Supreme Personality of Godhead seated within the heart. They are able to meditate, they are at level of good Sattva but they are not meditating on the Supreme Lord. These persons are described here as Duratmas, which means a person who has a very crooked heart or a less intelligent person, just opposite to the Mahatma, which means one who has a broad heart. Those so-called yogis who, although engage in meditation, are not broad-hearted, cannot find the four-handed Narayana form, even though he is seated within their heart. Although the first realization, supreme absolute to this impersonal Brahman, one should not remain satisfied with the experience, the impersonal effulgence of Supreme Lord. So here they get stuck here. Now, according to Shastras, the Brahmana means Janmana Jayate Shudra, Samskarat Bhave Dvija. They become Dvija. Even Dvijas are actually very much respected because they took into the process. At least they got initiated. And then Veda Patat Bhaved Vipra. So here, one who has learned the Vedas and all, he is a Vipra. And Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. So one who has understood Brahman, he is a Brahmana. Now, he should not be satisfied there. He should go further and become a Vaishnava. Now, there is Vishnu worship in all the practices. If you call somebody as a Brahmana, there is Smartha Brahmana. Even a Smartha Brahmana, they have some rituals for Vishnu also. They have to do any rituals. They worship Shiva, but they have some worship of Vishnu also. That's why in all the Vedic processes, if somebody is following Varnashrama Charvat Purushena Param Vishnu Raradhyate. They may be very devoid worshippers of demigods or Lord Shiva or impersonal Brahman or something, but this aspect of worshipping Vishnu is there. And another thing is, for them, the worship of the impersonal, and this is higher compared to worship of Vishnu. This is okay, Vishnu is there, but for them, they are stuck up with this impersonal only. So they are also called Brahmana. See, Brahmana is by the quality. So if he has a quality of a Brahmana, he should be called a Brahmana. And Lord appreciates them. Why? Because Brahmanas help people go in a right direction. That's why Lord is appreciating Brahmanas. He is helping people to go in a spiritual path. He is helping people to perform rituals from the Shastras. Brahmana helps people in remembering the Lord. So all these things, they are connected to the going people in a spiritual way. And even rituals also, without help of Brahmana, nobody can do. They help in people helping, following some Vedic rituals, understand spiritual knowledge, and perform some sacrifices. All these things are with the help of Brahmana. So they guide the society to take to Shastras. Veda Patat Bhaved Vipra. So they know the Vedas, they are helping the people. They may not be, they have some worship of Vishnu, they don't reject Vishnu. If they reject, then they are not, they should be kept distance. They have respect for Vishnu, but they have more attraction to form of Shiva or Durga or some other thing. They know, okay, Vishnu is there. So some part they worship, and that's all. Otherwise, and second thing is they may know the Vedas, whichever rituals, and they may also perform some, help the people do some samskaras and other things. So they are also Brahmanas. They also chant Gayatri. All these things are there. But like in a very high level, like Viprat Vishat Gunayuta Ravindanapa Pada Ravinda Vimuka Swapacham Varishtam. Now Swapach he says Vipra Vishat Gunayuta. Now Vipra is Veda Patat Bhaved Vipra. So when Prahlad is saying, he is calling them Vipra, and they are having all the qualities also. Now, but the point is, even though they have the qualities, they are Vipra, but he is Vimukha. He don't want to worship the Supreme Lord, but still he is called Vipra. That is the point. Uh, if he could not, he should not have called him Vipra, right? If he's if he's not a Vaishnava, not worshipping Vishnu, but still he is a Vipra because he is Veda Patat Bhaved Vipra. That is the definition. There it is not said he should be compulsory devotee of the Supreme Lord, but in the Brahmanas which are mentioned who come, whom we invite and offer something, they are like Vaishnavas only. At least mixed devotees. Mixed devotees are Brahmanas, but otherwise also there are different categories within them. And here they are attracted to some other features, Brahman feature, Lord Shiva, and but if they are doing yajan, patan, dan, pratigna, that is the definition of a Brahmana according to Bhagavad Gita. If he is doing yajan, is worshipping the Lord and offering, helping others also, and basically rituals, patan, learning the scriptures, teaching others, and dan pratigrahan. If he is living by that, he should be, and he is interested in impersonal Brahman, he is also considered very special Brahmana. We should respect him. He may not be Vaishnava, but he can be a Brahmana. And his goal is impersonal Brahman. Some rituals are there for Vishnu. Like that. And in Ishopanishad, the devotees pray that the glaring effulgence of Brahman may be removed from his eyes so that he can see the real personal feature of Lord and thus satisfy himself fully. Similarly, although the Lord is not visible in the beginning, like say Durvasa Muni is considered a Rishi and a Brahmana, like there are so many who don't worship Vishnu. They worship to some extent, but they're more interested in somebody else. Similarly, although the Lord is not visible in the beginning because of his glaring bodily effulgence, if a devotee sincerely wants to see him, the Lord is revealed to him. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord cannot be seen by our imperfect eyes. He cannot be heard by our imperfect ears, and he cannot be experienced by imperfect senses. But if one engages in devotional service with faith and devotion, then God reveals himself. So this is the way. Only by service. That means engage in faithful devotion. We cannot hear or anything with our imperfection. Do sadhana, Lord is revealed. Even we are standing in front of Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balram, or Radha Madhav Panchatattva. If we have not done sadhana, we cannot understand them. We cannot get their darshan. We cannot understand them. That is not possible. It is possible proportionate to our sadhana. Now, whatever sadhana Kumara has done, because of which they are able to see, of course, they offended Jay and Vijay. They could not experience that amount of love, but they could get darshan of Lord because of their practice. The four sages, Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar, are described as actually sincere devotees. Although they have heard from their father Brahma about the personal features of the Lord, only the impersonal feature, Brahman, was revealed to them. They heard it, not only realization they got that much. But because they were sincerely searching for the Lord, they finally saw his personal feature directly, which correspond with the description given by his father. Thus, they became fully graced by the Lord. They could now have got the good fortune to see his personal feature. All another significant aspect of this verse is that the sages described their experience of hearing from their father Brahma, who was born of the Lord directly. In other words, the disciplic succession from Lord to Brahma, and from Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, and so on is accepted here because Kumaras are son of Brahma. They have the opportunity to learn Vedic knowledge from the disciplic succession of Brahma, and therefore, in spite of their impersonal beginning, they became in the end direct seers of personal feature of the Lord. So, very important point that they they're getting this realization that how they're connected to the supreme Lord. So that is because of the association they got. So the most important thing is association and sadhana. Otherwise, not possible. So initially, their realization is Brahman, but as soon as they saw Lord, yes, Tasya Ravindanayanasya Padaravindam Kinjal Kamishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargatasya Vivarena Chakara Tesham Sankshoba Maksharujya Abhichittatan. As soon as the fragrance from the tulsi that is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord entered into the nostrils, immediately whatever the vasanas they have for the impersonal Brahman, they disappeared. So that is the fortune they got. But it is, we also get smell, but immediately that much is not happening because the purity and sadhana is not there. And now what happens is it inspires us. Yes, if I do sadhana, I also achieve it. We cannot complain because it is in our hand. No magic is going to happen at the time of death. This is good or bad news, whatever. There is no magic. It is our effort that is counted. How much effort I am putting day in and day out. The effort we put in meditating on the Lord within our sadhana, like now hearing about the Lord every day morning, is a meditation for us. To help deepen our meditation, we want to hear more and more about Him. So at least this 2 hours, our meditation on Him improves. So when we sit for chanting, then this is deepening our meditation. That is the help we get. This is, if this is not done, if persons are not sitting every day and hearing, we cannot expect that some magic will happen at the end of life. No magic. They have to put certain toil and do all the things, all the homework of everyday reading, trying to understand very systematically. Then only it is possible. And Kumara says that this is how we this is a science. So people, they want some magic to happen. They say, okay, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. Now I expect that things will change in my life. Now it does not happen so easily. It does not happen by chance. There is so much procedure that is there. The sadhana is there. No shortcuts. Fortunate or unfortunate, no shortcuts in this aspect, especially. So, so here the text 47. We'll just read the shloka. Tam tvam vidam bhagavan paramatma tattvam satvena samspriti rachayantamisham yatte nuttam viditair dridadhakti yogair ugrantayo hridi vidur munayo viraga. It says that Kumara is saying, we know that you are the supreme absolute truth, the personality of God, who manifests his transcendental form in the uncontaminated mode of pure goodness. this transcendental eternal form of your personality can be understood only by your mercy. Although unflinching devotional service by great sages whose heart have been purified in the devotional way. Now they are giving that, see, unflinching devotional service by great sages whose heart has been purified by in a devotional way. So this can be understood only by your mercy who has done devotion. That means they have properly done sadhana. That's why they are able to get that access. Otherwise, no access. And we have many great Vaishnavas in ISKCON. Why they are great Vaishnavas? Because they have done that sadhana. They work very hard to meditate. They controlled all their lower urges. They struggled. They fought, and then they persisted with utsaha, nishya, dhairya. That's why they are in that position. Same thing. We have to fight. We have to fight with Maya. We have to fight with Maya means basically our mind only. Maya is there, but Maya is always there. Even for pure devotees also Maya is there for us also. But problem is our mind. Our mind get attracted to Maya, whereas for pure devotees, it get attracted to lotus feet of Krishna. So both are simultaneously present, and they more and more we go closer to advance, more and more Maya also try to show its power. The absolute truth can be understood in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. He is admitted here. It is admitted that the Supreme Personality it is the last word in understanding absolute truth. Even though the four Kumaras were instructed by their great learned father Brahma, they could not actually understand absolute truth. See, like that is another thing. Like we are preaching and we tell about Krishna. Not many people understand only. They say, no, no, I will continue with my own things. We feel, array, I am telling so logically, I am giving all evidences, I am giving such a nice, powerful presentation, and still they are not changing. Yes, because in the beginning of creation, when Brahma, he told his four children, even he could not convert them. After they directly experienced Lord, then they got converted into a devotee. So that means if Brahma's preaching is not 100% successful, how can we expect that it will happen to our preaching? It is not possible. When it will happen, we don't know. But we keep trying. Brahma tried. Even though the four Kumars were instructed by their great learned father, they could not actually understand. They could only understand the Supreme Truth when they personally saw the personality of God with their own eyes. When they got direct protection, aparoksha, paroksha. Now, they could, if in other words, if one sees or understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the other two pieces of absolute, namely impersonal Brahman, local Paramatma, are also automatically understood. Therefore, the four Kumaras confirm you are the ultimate absolute truth. This is what four Kumaras are telling. After seeing, so we can use this as a proof. Even four Kumaras. The impersonalists may argue that since the Supreme Personality of Godhead was so nicely decorated, he was therefore not the absolute truth. But here it is confirmed that all the variegatedness of the absolute platform is constitute of Suddha Sattva, pure goodness. In the material world, any quality, goodness, passion, ignorance is contaminated. That means they see that, okay, there is something, decoration, this, that. That means if you say this is beautiful, that means something else is not beautiful, right? Beauty, it's a relative term. How beauty is defined in this world is a relative term. That's why the impersonalists have a problem in the form of Lord. If you say that Lord is beautiful in the spiritual world, that means there should be something which is not beautiful there, because it's a relative term. If say in the contest Miss World or Miss Universe, they award somebody as Miss World. If they are awarding somebody as Miss World, on what basis they are awarding her? Based on the other contestants. Related to them, she is Miss World. There will be so many Miss World who don't go for competing with them on the stage. Okay, say some 10, 15 went, or say 100 from different countries. Among that 100, she is the most beautiful, award her. But there are some lakhs of people who didn't come there who may be more beautiful. But it's a relative term. Any award, anything is the fastest person. Fast means what? Whoever participates based on that, that's a relative term. You cannot say he's the fastest man on it. There can be so many. It's all relative. Now, if you say Lord is beautiful, that means you are comparing with something in the spiritual world. That means something in spiritual world is not beautiful. That's why you're telling Lord is beautiful. But it's not like that. Everything in the spiritual world is beautiful. It's not relatively beautiful. It's absolute beautiful. That is the point. In the spiritual world, it is absolute beauty. It's not relative beauty. It is like, okay, she is ugly. That's why Lakshmi is beautiful. No. Her maids are beautiful and she is more beautiful and most beautiful. But it is not, beauty is not relative beauty, it's absolute beauty. So for us to little logic we have to use and understand. So impersonalists, why they have problems is this. Say if say Lord is wearing jewelry and they are telling, oh, so nice, very beautiful. That means what? That means it's absolute beauty. They cannot, because it is Shuddha Sattva. Even the quality of goodness here in the material world is not free from tinges of passion and ignorance. But in the transcendental world, only pure goodness without any tinge of passion or ignorance exists. Therefore, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his variegated past tense and paraphernalia are all pure Sattva. Such variegatedness in pure goodness is exhibited eternally by the Lord for the satisfaction of devotees. The devotee does not want to see the Supreme Personality of Absolute Truth in voidness or impersonalism. In one sense, absolute transcendental variegatedness is meant only for the devotees, not for others, because this distinct feature of transcendental variegatedness can be understood only by the mercy of Supreme Lord and not by mental speculations or the ascending process. It is said that one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead when one is even slightly favored by Him. Otherwise, without His mercy, a man may speculate for thousands of years and not understand what is actually the absolute truth. This is the point. They should be favored by the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Otherwise, it is not possible to understand, even for thousands. This mercy can be perceived by the devotee when he is completely free from contamination. And how to be free from contamination? That's where we do sadhana, to make us free from all this karma, all the impressions. It is said, therefore, that only when all the contamination is rooted out and the devotee is completely detached from material attractions can he receive the mercy of Lord. We try to free ourselves from all this kachada, all these impressions which we have, and we try to avoid which causes more such impressions so that we will become closer to the Lord. And Kumaras Natyantikam Viganayantyapite Prasadam Kim Manyadarpita Bhavyam Bru Unnayeste Yena Tvad Angrisharana Bhavatah Kataya Kityanti Tirtasya Sasha Kushala Rasanya. Kumara says persons who are very expert and most intelligent in understanding things as they are engage in hearing narrations of the auspicious activities and pastimes of the Lord, which are worth chanting and worth hearing. Such persons do not care even for the highest material benediction, namely liberation, to say nothing of other less important benedictions in the material happiness of the heavenly kingdom. So here they are saying that who are intelligent understand things as they are and engage in hearing the narrations of auspicious activities and pastimes of Lord, and that is worth chanting. They do not even care for the highest benedictions of material world, which is liberation. Like, and the transcendental bliss enjoyed by the devotee of Lord is completely different from the material happiness enjoyed by less intelligent persons. The celestial person in the material world are engaged in 4 principles of benediction called dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Generally, they prefer to take to religious life to achieve some material benediction, the purpose of which is to satisfy the senses. Gross senses who are in a lower planetary systems like Earth, subtle senses in a higher level. In here also we have subtle pleasures, but which is in a higher levels, which is much more and more enjoyment they get. They try to become one with the Supreme, which is according to their conception, mukti or liberation. So this is all Prabhupada explains. And he says, devotees do not care for such revelation, nor they are inclined to accept any of the 4 kinds of liberation, namely, but we know all the 4 kinds of liberation, and they are more interested in the service of the Supreme Lord. Materialistic persons aspire for the sense enjoyment of heavenly pleasure in the heavenly kingdom. But devotees reject such material pleasure at once. The devotees does not even care for the post of Indra. A devotee knows that any pleasurable material position is subjected to annihilation at certain point. This is a very that the pleasure which the people experience, which they get, is antavantu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam. This is actually what it is. And Prabhupada, he gives so nice points. Even if one reached to the post of Indra, Chandra and demigods, he must be dissolved at certain stage. A devotee is never interested in such temporary pleasure. For Vedic scriptures, it is understood that sometimes even Brahma and Indra fall down, but a devotee in transcendental abode never falls. This transcendental stage of life, in which one feels transcendental pleasure in hearing Lord's pastimes, is recommended by Lord Chaitanya when he is talking to Ramananda. Sthane sthita sutigatam tanuvan manod. One should hear the glories of Lord in the association of pure devotees. This is what he says. One should engage himself in hearing. And the next sloka says, O Lord, we pray that you let us be born in any hellish condition of life, just as long as our hearts and minds are always engaged in the service of your lotus feet. Our words are made beautiful by speaking of your activities, just as tulsi leaves are beautiful when offered into your lotus feet. And as long as our ears are always filled with chanting of your transcendental qualities. So this is what is Kumaraswamy. The 4 sages now offer their humility to the personal Lord because of their having been haughty in cursing 2 other devotees of Lord Jaya and Visa, doorkeepers of Vaikuntha planet, were certainly offenders, but as Vaishnavas, the 4 Kumaras should not have cursed them. After the incident, they became conscious that they have done wrong by cursing the devotees, and they prayed to the Lord that even in hellish condition of life, their minds may not be distracted from the engagement of service to the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. This is what is happening in their heart. Now they said, oh, we are necessarily cursed. So they are also feeling sad for what they have done. Why it happened? In the presence of Lord, heart changes. That is actually, if somebody is sincere, their heart changes. But somebody is a mischief, for him does not make effect. Like Duryodhana and all. They continue to remain stubborn. Ashwathama, Duryodhana, Karna. So these are people who, in the presence of Lord Shishupala, their heart don't change only. This because they are not so sincere. Those who are devotees of Lord are not afraid of any condition of life, provided there is constant engagement in the service of Lord. So for us, what is the greatest misfortune? Forgetting the Lord, and that is every day happening. It is said that Narayana Parar, those who are devotees of Narayana, Supreme Personality of God, na kutaschana vidyati, na swargapavarkanarkeshu apitulyata. They are not afraid of entering hellish condition. Hellish condition for a devotee is kaivalyam narakayate. There, forgetting the Lord is naraka for them. So the Kaivalya, the impersonal Brahman is why hellish for them. No service, no remembrance, no devotees, no kirtan. That is hell for them. It's not the geographical location hell. It's the state of consciousness which they consider as hell. Oh, forgetting Lord. Oh, such a hellish thing. I don't know what. Like people they love somebody so deeply, and when they feel separation from them, they feel it's so painful. They may be in a best material condition, but it's very painful. But they are with their most beloved, and they may be in a most uncomfortable situation. They have to people meet in some park or hotel or something. Sometimes it may not be a comfortable situation, but they are very comfortable because they love it. So here, same thing. The heart is like that. If it is with something which we like, it is even though it is uncomfortable. Sometimes people carry some luggage, which is so much weight is there. Why they are carrying? Because they like the money, they like the things they have. They purchase so many varieties of dresses, and they're carrying. So they because they love it, even though it is uncomfortable, but for them it is so much pleasing. It's nice because I purchased 20 varieties of new pairs of dress, so I want to carry it because they are happy that in future they are going to wear. So I'm just giving example. If they are like we bring Mahaprasad from temple in Vrindavan, no, they give big box. Sometimes people they order for their big box and small box. You get different varieties. Now you are carrying so much Mahaprasad. Sometimes it is heavy, but it is pleasing also. Oh, so much Mahaprasad. It is even the weight is there. It is not uncomfortable because it is pleasing to the heart. I am going to enjoy Mahaprasad. Similarly, of course, we honor Mahaprasad. Similarly, here, if it heart is with the Lord, then external things don't matter. Whatever is there, because Lord is there, heart is satisfied. That is the point here. Therefore, those who are engaged in the service of Lord see no distinction between heaven and hell. His heart is somewhere else. It is only the materialistic who prefer one to the another, because their heart is in the material enjoyment for devotee. The four devotees pray to the Lord that although they may go to hell because they have cursed devotees, they may not forget the service of the Lord. The transcendental loving service of Lord is performed in three ways: with the body, with the mind, and words. Here, the sages pray that their words may always be engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord. One may speak very nicely with ornamental language, or one may be expert at controlled grammatical presentation. But if one's words are not engaged in the service of Lord, they have no flavor and no actual use. The example is given here of tulsi leaves. The tulsi leaf is very useful even from the medical or antiseptic point of view. It is considered sacred and is offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. Tulsi leaf has numerous good qualities, but if it were not offered to the lotus feet of Lord, tulsi could not be of much value or importance. Similarly, one must speak very nicely from the rhetorical or grammatical point of view, which may be very much appreciated by materialistic audience, but one's word do not offered to the service of Lord, they are useless. The holes of ear are very small and can be filled with an insignificant sound. So how can they receive as great a vibration as a glorification of Lord? The answer is that the holes of ear are like sky. As the sky can never be filled up, the quality of ear is such that one may go on pouring in vibration of various kind, yet it is capable of receiving more and more vibration. A devotee is not afraid of going to hell if he has opportunity to hear the glories of the Lord constantly. This is the advantage of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. The ears are connected to sky. Sky is unlimited, ears unlimited. Nice point. One may be put in any condition, but God gives him the prerogative to chant Hare Krishna. In any condition of life, if one goes on chanting, he will never be unhappy. This is the golden statement by Prabhupada. We can make it highlight. Prabhupada is telling This is so important. One may be put in any condition, but gives him the prerogative to chant Hare Krishna. In any condition of life, even goes on chanting, he'll never be unhappy. O Lord, he says, we therefore offer respectful obeisances unto your eternal form as the personality of Godhead which you have so kindly manifested before us. You supreme eternal form cannot be seen by unfortunate less intelligent persons, but we are so much satisfied in our mind and vision to see it. So this is the last one. The four sages are impersonal in the beginning of their spiritual life, but afterwards, by the grace of their father, you see, by the grace of their father, spiritual master, they understood the eternal spiritual form of Lord and felt completely satisfied. So it is because of Brahma. In other words, the transcendentalists who aspire to the impersonal Brahman or Lokaris Paramatma are not fully satisfied and still hanker for more. Even if they are satisfied in their mind, still transcendentally their eyes cannot be satisfied. But so one extent they are free from suffering, but eyes, ears, nose, they are not completely satisfied. As soon as such persons comes to to realize the supreme personality, they are satisfied in all respects. In other words, they become devotees and want to see the form of Lord constantly. It is confirmed in Brahma Samhita that one who has developed transcendental love of Krishna by smearing his eyes with the ointment of love sees constantly the eternal form of Lord. The particular word used in this connection is Atmanam, signifies those who have no control over mind and senses, who are therefore speculate and want to become one with the Lord. Such persons cannot have the pleasure of seeing the eternal form of Lord. So they, even the Lord comes, they cannot get. So Prabhupada is very clear. For the impersonalists, so-called yogis, the Lord is always hidden by the Yoga Maya. Naham Prakash Sarvasa Yoga Maya Samavrta. The theory of the impersonalists and the so-called yogis is that the Supreme Lord assumes a particular form when he comes in touch with Maya, although actually he has no form. This very conception of impersonal and the so-called yogis check them from seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is. So this conception is stopping them. The Lord, therefore, is always beyond the sight of such non-devotees. The four sages felt so much obliged to the Lord that they offered their respectful obeisances unto him again and again. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, 15th chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Description of Kingdom of God. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki